Hey there, Chumbatas! This is Afrodo Station, where we take a look at dirty media in this fine year of 2077. I want to be looking at some fine comments predicting the world we're currently living. I bought this here dirty media after learning about it on Kindle Unlimited, seeing it being presented to me for the fine preem price of 0 eddies. And I decided I just had to dive into it. And what better month to do it than here at Afrodo Station's Video Game Month. Oh my god, I'm not used to talking like this. Now, the first book we're going to be looking at, not necessarily the first one in this omnibus, but the first one that I read, because that's the first one I got, on the Kindle. But, first one we'll be looking at is Cyberpunk 2077 Blackout. Now, this comic was published by those corpos down in Dark Horse Books. It was grafted by, I don't know how to say this name, but I'm going to give it my best chance, Boy, and illustrated by Roberto Ricci and Fabiano Mascalo, with contributions credits given to Frank Sveltovic. Just a reminder, I'm always guessing on these names. It was published first on January 31st of 2023 as part of the extended lore into our wonderful world of Night City. Now, this book follows the adventures of some chun named Arturo, a BD technician who works for a corp. For those a little slow, or for those aliens out there, that means Arturo manufactured these neurological entertainment pieces known as braindances. People plug into a recording that not only lets you see everything from one person's perspective, but experience everything they do. From feelings to sensation, it's some preem entertainment, chums. However, our man Arturo here, he's got some big dreams, yeah? He watched people indulge in his addictions, live lives that aren't their own because they can't bother to live in the real world, become real brain potatoes, if you catch my drift. This has given Arturo a bit of a complex, you see. He fantasizes about zeroing himself constantly. Not that he wants to do that with any kind of iron, of course, but that he often puts himself in elaborate BDs that ends with him flatlining in various ways. Life's getting to Arturo, you see, and he just wants to experience the absence of it. However, Arturo's a dreamer. He knows that BDs can be used for good. He's created specifically tailored BD therapy, treatments to help folks overcome the worst of their habits. He tries to bring this up to some corporal in charge of the place, but that man ain't got any interest in that. After all, they sell dreams, and the kind of people who buy dreams aren't the happy kind. Arturo reluctantly chugs along, but eventually, after seeing someone OD on the BDs he's repairing, and worse yet, learning that Night City's prison is forcing prisoners to live in a virtual hell with BDs that forces them to die over and over and over again. His own personal experience able to see that, he decides he's done. Arturo, our poor chum here, he's got a soft heart. He can't stand it, so the man hands in his walking papers in a real Nova way. You see, Arturo rewires these devices to only show these prisoners memories from their own life, letting them relive some happy moments instead of constant flatlines. He's, of course, burned for that by his corpse boss, but fuck him. For once in his life, our chum Arturo is finally smiling, and he's got a plan to make his life better. For those just tuning in here to Afrodo Station, this is where I'll be giving the gongs here a chance to sign out. Most of what I share so far is pretty much just the setup for the rest of the story, but the rest is going to be spoilers. You'll be wanting to go into this comic, no spoiling deets swirling around on that noggin of yours? Best you delta out of here. Only warning. So anyways, our Chumba Arturo forms a crew to handle something of a heist. You see, he knows a secret way to take out those corpses who screwed him. He's got a badge friend he helped from his drunkenness, Dinesh. He's got a former merc known for hazing her crew named Albeda. And then you got the chromed out getaway driver, whose brother he helped into prison, Rearview. Ain't the nicest looking crew in the works, but they'll get the job done. We even get to see Arturo's therapy idea in action with the badge Dinesh, who sobers up after taking a trip in it. The plan seems to start fine. Arturo and Albeda get in fine, except the security guard Arturo bribed hears some of the badges talking shit on him. Not wanting to take that, he blows the whole thing by pulling his gun on Albeda and Arturo. The two manage to escape to Rearview, who's getting ready to pull out some BDs to distract themselves from danger. But oh shit. Looks like the badge didn't hold up his end of the bargain. The gonk fell off the wagon hard, and doesn't even realize he's supposed to be in place for his part of the plan, too drunk in the bar. And then, just when it seems bad, it gets worse. Rearview hears on a radio that her brother killed himself after they tried to hook him back into the fixed prison machines, unable to handle the constant death. As a final fuck you to her gonk of a mother, she decides to leave Albeda and Arturo in the garage, leads the police off on a high-speed chase. Not just determined to prove herself better than her bro, but to prove their mother wrong and that she's as good of an edge runner as any. And then, of course, Albeda turns her gun on Arturo and kills him. Hazing habits die hard. Now, this is about where I meant to sit back and... why am I putting on a southern voice? Now, this here is where I meant to sit back and compliment this comic. Some real preem stuff in here. Obviously, anyone can see the critique of corpse selling addictions to the masses and refusing to do good simply because it doesn't put enough eddies in their pocket. But I like the deconstruction of Arturo's optimistic belief that one brain dance can fix people's problems. Sure, it helped, but you can't expect psychological issues to ghost off after one traumatic experience. It ain't shit luck that's ruining the heist and killed him, but his own crew's demons coming back to haunt them. Comic even seems to be hinting that while Arturo may have died, perhaps Albeda is starting to make something better of herself. Extreme guilt at her betrayal finally eating at her in a way it hadn't before. Arturo wasn't just some gonk in a crew she betrayed after all. He was her chum, a roommate. And now she's got to sit on the couch trying to enjoy her bloody eddies while staring at the spot he always sat next to her, thinking the best of her. Except that's not how the comic ends. You see, Arturo wasn't just some gonk who thought the best of broken people. He was a real Gibson, if you get my drift. See, everything from the moment they put those wreaths on, it's all been an elaborate PD. Albeda realizes the guilt of betraying someone close to her with none of the genuine consequences. In addition, Dinesh didn't actually fall off the wagon. He was sober the entire time, and Rearview ain't care enough about her gonk of a mother to throw her life away. Ready to live, even if it means proving she ain't as much of an edge runner as her brother. Albeda makes the ultimate sacrifice play, instead of just hazing her group, letting herself get captured by Dinesh, who she's hated from the get-go, all to let her crew escape and Dinesh get treated as a hero. And then another twist comes. We learn that this heist ain't about money after all, but rather Arturo trying to get some blackmail evidence to shut down the corpse who cut a job out. And the comic ends with Dinesh, Albeda, and Rearview all living better lives. While it's implied Arturo either flatlined or got sucked back into his own addiction. Now let's get why I don't think this really works. Why do I keep slipping back into this? Now let's get back into why this don't really work for me. You see, when this story was going the route that Arturo's miracle treatment wasn't as good as he thinks, I was digging it. People are complicated, you know, and it's going to take more than a single brain dance to make them less bad. Problem is, with this twist, kind of saying people is that simple. Now, with Dinesh, I could buy the brain dance working. Dinesh's reason for drinking so much is he wants to protect the people of Night City, and he works in an organization that puts those corpos first. He turns to drink because he can't handle that. So when Arturo shows him a brain dance where his drunkenness actually causes him to kill an innocent chum, the shock of what happened would conceivably keep Dinesh from the bottle. It don't quite work out for Albeda though. See, where we see why Dinesh is drinking, and we see why Rearview has such a complex with her brother, we don't actually know what leads Albeda to hazing her crew all the time. So the only thing that's implied to change her feeling is the extreme guilt she feels for accidentally killing Arturo. When he removes the brain dance, she don't feel no sort of anger or rage at what was a very traumatic experience for her, something she didn't consent to being put into. In addition, unlike Danisha's BD, this doesn't directly confront the source of her chronic backstabbing disorder. All it does is make her live with the after effects of her betrayal, something she's done before, with the only exception now that it was someone genuinely considered a friend by her. And there's no guarantee that she can't just say, well, you implanted those feelings in my head. So her being so cured that she happily goes to jail and keeps in contact with Arturo, at the end, it feels wrong. It feels more like Arturo manipulates her into doing what he wants rather than helping her confront the source of her problem, or associate that problem with the thing that they yearn for the most. I will admit, though, I do like how the ending is very much open to interpretation. Since the book has constantly been psyching us out with these BDs, even a couple pages earlier with Arturo imagining himself getting gunned down in the diner while talking to Albeida, we don't actually know if he's really about to flatline here, or it's just another BD. On one hand, it's a rather ironic ending. Arturo finally has reasons to live, finally getting over his death fantasies, only to be killed in a very unceremonious way in a random act of violence. All a very casual act of violence for our Night City here, especially with all the elaborate ways he kills himself in the other BDs. On the other, it's showing that while he might be in a better place, he's still indulging in his own death, meaning that he's not fully right in the end, that his own fantasies don't... that his own therapy don't work on him, that he's still stuck in this cycle of addiction. It works. The problem is mostly just with the characters involved. It doesn't feel like it works for all of them. Other than that, I think the art is pretty shway, and the story really did work for its theme in the first 3 issues, only really fumbling for the last of the stereotypical heist twist that occurs in this genre. If you want my opinion, 7 out of 10. But that's far from the only one here. I'm going to go ahead and prepare you. Get ready for the next one that comes. Next one, I'm kind of interested in. We're going to jump back to the beginning and talk about Trauma Team. Those... Do they count as trippos? Guess that's all I really got to say about this. You want my opinion? Worth a read. Just know it fumbles a little, especially near the end. But the ending itself is fine. Again, going back into the southern accent. See you folks next time here on Dirty Radio.